history is also our identity. If I wanted to know where you were from, I wouldn't go ask someone else. I would ask you directly where you from. Our history books do not ask us where we're from. If tomorrow we're still going to be here, we have to preserve what we have. We have our ways and ceremony, and we believe in it, and it helps us. That warrior spirit of we're going to practice our ways of my forefather. And our young people here begin to do that. They begin to utilize sweat lodge, vision quest, are trying to empower each other and encourage each other to learn the language, learn the songs, learn the cultural ways. We have to live it in order to pass it down. Our history begins here on this continent. 3 major groups have lived in this region for a very long time. When people ask, well, how did you lose this continent? It wasn't because of warfare. It wasn't because they came and bought everything. We lost it because of the diseases that was caused when the ships would come. Deliver blankets, knowing full well that they carried smallpox.
The native people, especially the women folks, the earth loggers, they thought it might be easier to keep than a buffalo hide. 1837, the tribes along the Missouri River here, the Mandan, Hidatsa, and the Rickera people, they were hit hard within 3 months, 3 short months. The Mandans, they were 13,000 strong. They were down to about 150 people left alive. And so was the Rickeras. They were about well over 1,000 strong. They were down to about 600. The Hidatsa people were a little bit fortunate. We were down to about 700. A lot of our elders, they didn't have time to pass on their knowledge, wisdom, stories. They didn't have time to pass on their medicine bottles. A lot of them took their wisdom, their knowledge, medicine bottles along with them.
And as our numbers dwindled, the European population grew, and the want of more and more of our resources. And now it's forever pushing westward. Westward until they reach the west coast, and there's nowhere else to push us. So they began these islands of reservations, reserved for us.
In 1869, the government placed the 3 tribes on an Indian reservation, which is today we know as Fort Berthold.
Living under the government rule, whereas they had total control. But there was no singing, no dancing, no giveaways, no ceremony, trying to put their hands to be made alive. They wanted to be free, to continue the old ways of raising their gardens, practicing their ceremonies, singing their songs, dancing, and being free.
There was a chief by the name of Chief Proflashai who didn't want to be for the system.
They want to be on the reservation, on handles.
His family members, relatives, friends, they got together and they moved away from the rest of the group.
They left, and they were called a Xo'shga then, and they lived up by the confluence of the Yellowstone River, building their their garden, and had a good hunting, and lived a free lifestyle for about 25 years. In some ways, you might say rebels. We didn't want to be hanging around the Fort Indians, you might say. Nothing more than people could. And today's generation, we can see that. After 25 years of living this free lifestyle, the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the U.S. government determined that the Xo'shga needed to return to the reservation. In 1894, Chief Xo'shga had negotiated the return to Fort Berthold, but they would retain their right to ceremony and cultivation. A militia was dispatched to the Xo'shga and were forcibly marched back to Fort Berthold. This happened when their snow went down. They were marched 80 miles in the midst of a severe winter. My great-grandmother, Menikas, daughter of Xo'shga, was one of those that died along the way. The Xo'shga retained much of the old ways and ceremony, bringing it back to Fort Berthold. They lived those ways for 25 years longer than those on the reservation, and we owe much of what was preserved to the Xo'shga people. We're in Fort Buford. We're in the area where they brought the Xo'shga back to Fort Berthold, back to the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation in 1894. And this ride is all about that forced march. Our tribe wanted me to spearhead this ride and let it be known what Xo'shga meant.
You know, we can learn a lot from the past. Anywhere in life, anybody really wants to know who they are and where they come from. And I think just in any culture, a lot of people are real lost in that area. Once you know where you come from, it's easier to go where you want to go.
A ride like this is empowering. It's also a responsibility. It helps us remember who we are. And it's kind of an honoring for those ones that came before, including the Xo'shgas, the ones that made this original ride.
Kind of an emotional day to a lot of us that are here, to our families, because they brought back what we could have lost.
We battle every day the continuous concerted efforts of colonization. It can be anything from the really big pressures of pipelines and environmental pressures, stuff like that, all the way down to something as mundane as trying to get the kids away from the iPad, and take some time to come out here and check out these plants, the medicines that we take, and to learn about those types of things. The pressure is intense, but at the same time, it's so fulfilling, and really, it's a savior for a lot of our people. This worldview I was born to it. I wasn't aware of how rich I was until I got older, and I left the reservation, and I was kind of in the constant context of my family, and I realized how my worldview was very different from others, and I was consistently speaking out, representing a different perspective. Now, as a tribal college president, I represent the college in all sorts of ways, shapes, or forms, whether I'm sitting, in DC on Capitol Hill, or if I'm riding a horse in a spirit ride.
This water you see here wasn't always here. There was a time when this water flowed freely. And we realized that there was a good bottom line for horses and cattle in our gardens. Where we started our villages. Everything was good. A lot of what we needed for through, they'll just push me to create out. Then coming back, getting home, part of that. But it's hot to down, was the river.
I remember I was there, my mom's telling a story, someday all this is going to be underwater. She said, what? You know, all the trees, the roads, even this house, they're going to be all underwater.
The idea that Pickens Home came up with was upstream on the Missouri River, and one time, I think there's some people on the ground, will build a series of dams. But when this plan passed, the plans that came out were dams that were below reservations. There were 5 dams, each one below a reservation. There's pictures of George Stewart, our chairman at the time, that he was crying as they signed the paperwork. Because the building had already begun near Garrison, North Dakota, they were about $60 million into the building. All we were still financing them. Not getting push for it happen. But the flooding came and it wasn't really like fast. It was a really big flooding. And what that did was it put all of the cultural monuments where you had corn, squash, beans. We really had a citizen's lifestyle still up until that point. It was convenient to put down to the low reservation rates, and so that's why we now have this couple here.
After the Harris Dam was built, 80% of the homes were moved to higher, protected land. So the ranchers, they got hard on that because of lack of grass for shelter and water. And so they kind of have a lot of them kind of got depressed and they started to sell their equipment, their animals. Pretty soon they had to keep an eye on it, don't they? Huh?
My grandma told me when she used to talk about how when that happened to us, it was like walking through a door and slamming the door and never being able to go back through that door again to the way things used to be. Because it was then that we were completely forced into a cash economy.
That hardship, it was devastating to the people. And it created sorrow and resentment. And as children, we would hear that. We feel that. And we resent that as well. It's intergenerational trauma, what happened here. So many others. Smallpox, the dams, boarding school, all of these things that have come our way. We have survived all of it. We're still here today. I think we're gone. We're not.
The first boarding school was done by a gentleman by the name of Captain Pratt in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And we had members from this reservation. Well, that's where we had to lose everything. They took away the language, the culture, customs, and they had to practice the European lifestyle. They made sure that they cut all their hair, and within hours' time, they were to had all their hair cut off to a comb. They would take us to a movie, and they would show a movie of Indians and cowboys and Indians. These Indians would surround a couple of white men, they'll circle up the Indians with one on them. Once in a while, somebody would get an arrow in the back or the chest. They'll throw that, we'll all sitting there. Pretty soon, they'll come to the cavalry and they'll go, hey, and then people are jumping. And instead of looking at the native people over here, I was rooting for the other natives over here. They were working on our minds. And that's how a lot of us are working. That kind of made us ashamed.
My grandma, she would be forced to drink shampoo until she was sick if she spoke her dad's language. So she grew up thinking that she couldn't teach us, so she didn't just because we would have to go through it. It was like just ingrained in her, brainwashed in her. She married a non-native. My grandpa was French and German, and basically told all of us this is the only way we could survive now in this society.
America defines me as blood quantum, blood degree. We're the only people in this country that have a legal card, a legal document that states our blood degree of Native American. No other people in this country have that. We have that. Dogs have that, and horses have that. It started, the census rolls about the 1880s in the beginning. We have had to have this blood quantum to be legally recognized in a particular tribe as having a particular blood degree. And it's set up to eliminate it. We don't have that power to really determine our own citizenship. And that's a human right. For a long period of time, our people was under the rule of the government who had Christianity forced upon us. And they had power. The power to withhold the actions of the revelation. They had that large effort for conversion. Our native people has always had this big invisible sign above our head that says, "Come save me." And they would, all denominations would come, and they would try conversion, even if they were already converted. I've been baptized as Catholic, I've been baptized as a Congregationalist. They had a degree of success because a lot of our people were fully ingrained and embraced Christianity. We're not saying that's good or bad. What we are saying is we want to be free to choose. We didn't get the freedom of religion fully until 1978. Years before that, the things we did ceremonially was done underground or in secrecy. And in 1978, not too long ago, my grandparents did it undercover to pray. I didn't know about when I come out to go to the crowd and stuff. I would see the flame of the sweat lodge, the fire still smoking out there. I didn't know what it was, no time in that. Because at that time it was told not to ask about that kind of stuff. I don't think they would tell me anyway. But today we got the freedom to pray. The white people didn't like Xo'shgas because they worked on the reservation. They didn't control them. So as time went by, our own people would make fun of the Xo'shgas.
My dad's name is Xo'shga. And my grandmother said, don't be ashamed of it. People are going to tease you about being Xo'shga. They're dirty, they're lazy, they don't want to do things.
When I was young, I didn't want to be a Xo'shga. I never even knew what a Xo'shga was. Nobody explained it to me. You act like a Xo'shga. And now, after I found out, I'm proud to be a Xo'shga.
If it wasn't for the Xo'shgas, we wouldn't be dancing, we wouldn't be celebrating.
But hopefully today is different. We can tell the story about the Xo'shga people, who they are, what they went through, and what they have preserved and still hold. History has to be told. But for this time, we're telling the story. We don't have someone else coming over here and writing a book and say, this is how they are, this is what they did. No, this is our story, and we're the ones telling it. Hopefully, we can take this kind of a history, this knowledge, and put it in our schools, put it in our college, and make it a part of what our children should know. That's important to us. That's empowering ourselves, because we're fighting two things, and that is cultural survival and environmental survival. If we poison our air or our water or our earth or anything, we cease to exist.
I work with a small nonprofit called the Indigenous Environmental Network. I've been with them since 2007 and been fighting at home around using what we have instead of taking out bad sources. We decided that we need to do something, we need to take an action, we need to stand up for ourselves as people here at Fort Worth. We could have our culture, we could have our traditions, but if we don't have water to drink, and if we don't have clean air to breathe, we have nothing. That is what we need to survive. And so it's really scary that we're polluting our water. And we were trying to pull ourselves together, and I think we were doing okay until it oil boom again. 2006, 2007, 2008. It just all started falling apart again.
This oil boom hit us hard. Our learning curve, straight up. We had been living in poverty for a long time. And all of a sudden, here's something new. Some of our tribal members were seeing money for the first time. And the unscrupulous oil companies would come in and then buy leases. Sometimes there might be a knock at the door at night, in the evening, and one company saying, we want to lease the minerals. And if you sign right here, we've got X amount of dollars. And our people, not being savvy in the oil business, we're making about 30% of the population, the tribal population, has some sort of oil revenue. Some very little, and some a lot. But it's only 30%. That means there's 70% who are getting oil revenue, but yet have paid these high prices. It's, you might say, a mixed blessing. In that, for some people who have been living in poverty for a long time, now have something. Maybe for the first time in their life, they can go out and buy a nice home, some nice things, and provide some things for their children and for their grandchildren. And that's good. On the other hand, the negative effects.
We never had heroin here before inside oil boom. When the oil boom came, heroin came. No organized crime here that we never had before. Little tiny communities where we've seen police chases, gunfights. So I have a cousin that got caught up in heroin. And, the last time he was seen was with my cousin and I, and the 2 known members of his. He disappeared in the birthday. And then we found him on April in 2015 in water in the lake. And they pulled out the body and they had to be in there to identify who it was him. And it was open check case, resolved as an accidental drowning because there was no gunshot wounds or stab wounds or anything like that. And that's it. He's gone and nobody was ever charged with anything for it. He was working in the oil fields. He was getting all of drugs from the oil. It's really scary to think about. They used to tell me that the reason that they did meth and stuff was so that they could work those really long hours. 14, 16 hours a day going non-stop, like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And he's like, yeah, everybody does it. And he was just really self-medicating and trying to deal with all of it, all these things that happened to us, have happened to us, that are still happening.
I have 2 sons. Nathan was my son, and he's my grandson, who's 25, so that was 10 years ago. This Thanksgiving. And my second son is Corey. And we are a part of the Xo'shga band. It's a part of our lives, and it's how we raise the boys. But it seems like with everything happening in our lives, we just more or less turn away from everything. Just, I guess, because we've been through a lot. lot since losing his brother and he's gotten to like religion.
Violence, drugs, addiction. Yeah, back in the time, it was back car, I'll get somebody. That was the big thing. Now it's overdosing.
He's his girlfriend. He's come a long way and he seems to be getting better. His father used to hold sun dances and that, but it's not there anymore either, so it's up to 40 now to pick that up and hopefully someday carry that out.
Yeah. Not so good, man.
Can we go back? I don't know if that's even a question anymore. It's more of a question of what is the new iteration of this part of the country? What are we going to do going into the future? How are we going to
The root from the resident tribe is a tool. Okay, to be honest. It depends on how we use it. Yeah, we can use it to develop our educational system to do some good things with it. Because at some point, however, all we're going to have left is some holes in the ground. So we have an opportunity to do something for our children. And that is investing in our communities, investing in our culture.
Hidatsa, John. Language to us is everything.
We need our children to speak language because that was a policy of the council. The language for English now, that was their policy.
Bobby, message there. No. Yeah, there you go. We only have 60 Hidatsas that can speak fluent creature. We only have about maybe 40 of us left. Our God passed away and no more men that speak fluent.
There is an effort and supported by our federal council to revitalize these languages because we're losing speakers very every day. Have learned past the way to take the language with them.
I feel like a lot of reasons, I was interested in is learning very human culture and language. It makes me feel really bad because they don't realize that we're the future of the tribe as a whole and as Native Americans as a whole.
In Hidatsa, it's one word too, and that's utter.
Never in history has there been such a push to learn the language as we are today. Technology being such a huge part of today's world, and we're using that as means to teach our kids who we are, and that is important to us. Maybe not to the state, but to us.
They're learning now in schools, they're aware that we do have different languages, but they're not developing the fluent side because of the destruction to that for years.
The guys that were singers that were able to sing personal songs or veteran songs or ceremonial songs in their language, they're gone.
That's something there, if we look up in these work, the voices that how you pray. When I go around, I talk to people about who they are and what their knowledge is. Well, I feel that because to be a Xo'shga is to feel good. Xo'shga is to know your culture. To be a Xo'shga is to know your spirituality, know all the various different ceremonies that we do. And most of all, to be a Xo'shga is to know your language.
We've endured and overcome a lot of hardships, and our success was our joy.
You want its challenges, being able to maintain exercise in their life. It's kind of a declaration of ways to speak. To me, it's kind of like declaring to the world, I'm still here, I am not defeated, and I will never be defeated. You can't explain things in English. You just can't. There's no words for something that you won't explain things. Our songs, when you hear them, when you hear things of power, it's not based on language, it's based on like looking at maybe the landscape and you look at the hills. And when you hear the dips and the highs in the songs, it's actually telling the story of the place and where we come from, just live within us. And live within us. And that's that feeling that we get of wanting to connect the land. That's that feeling we have of wanting to learn our culture and wanting to know our language. That's something that can't ever be taught.
Modern pushed us. Our modern ways. And those are going to preserve what we have. A lot of their legacy still carried on today. It's carrying on and practicing our belief ways of being that is good for us and natural to us. And that's one of the goals, of course, is always be a free people again, without the rules and regulations of the United States government who took that away from us.
When you look back and understand what our elders did, what they went through, that's why we're here. We need to be stronger. We need to have respect for our elders.
I get excited about thinking about what my daughters and sons are going to do for the people.
I'm just proud to be a Xo'shga for my relatives, for the children that are coming up to know about it. Things happen, and there's a lot of healing that needs to take place. And it's a start.